Yo, what's going on YouTube? It is Hey RV, and we got another Jim Cornette video. This is the one I was really looking forward to. Was his take on this? Um, got a mixed reaction on the last Cornette video I uploaded. Some people don't like him. I don't have any problems with him. I don't care what about his politics, or I could care less. He knows wrestling. He worked in the industry. And you have to, no matter whether what you think about them, you have to give them their props. Just like you have to give props to Vince Russo. He worked in the industry. Dave Meltzer never worked in the industry. He's never been behind on the other side of the guardrail. He hasn't. I really value Cornette's opinion about this because he knows so much. So as always, huge shout out to all the supporters, all the members. Thank you so much for your support. The title, again, a huge shout out to official Jim Cornette. Title is Jim Cornette reviews John Cena turning heel on Cody Rhodes at WWE Elimination Chamber. So, all right, here we go.
Cena has won the Elimination Chamber and it will go on to face Cody at the big WrestleMania extravaganza. And they did the replays of the match and the finish and the celebration there, and then boom, Cody music hits. And Cody comes to the ring, and they're Cody and Cena, a couple different generations, but the guy in the company. And they're, Cody's gesturing you and me at WrestleMania, and Cena is, and they shake hands. Looks like it's going to be a friendly contest, Brian. And then suddenly, The Rock's music hits. And you look, and it ain't The Rock, it's Travis Scott.
Oh.
And with his own title belt,
right,
and apparently coming to the ring accompanied by some of his own shitty music. If this was his music, I don't really care to see any more of Travis Scott. But it didn't look like that he was bringing the house down in the Toronto Sky Dome.
No, dude, and the fact that he is actually involved, and he's a part of the NWO forming. Essentially, that's the three, and that you have that idiot involved or in the shot. It should have just been Cena and The Rock. What are you doing? I don't care if he's smoking a blunt. I could care less about that. He's not a wrestler. And he stiffed Cody hard. I mean, you guys see that. All he had to do was throw one fake punch. One. Just one. One. He couldn't do that right. And they practiced it. That's the other thing. That wasn't spontaneous. They practiced it, and he still messed it up.
Either. Until after a bit of milking, the Rock stepped out, and then I thought you're biased, but tell me what you think. Was The Rock's ovation kind of muted because they had seen Travis Scott there and they thought they were being fucking zoomed somehow?
I thought it was a little bit, but I don't know if that was the cause. I think it's a bit of a misstep. I understand leaning into celebrity and Travis Scott wants to wrestle. And WWE,
he wants to wrestle?
And WWE's all about, TKO's all about embracing celebrity, but this isn't Mike Tyson and this isn't Dennis Rodman. This is not someone who
it's a rapper.
All of America knows. And it just seemed ridiculous that he was a part of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, standing in the ring during an angle, which we'll get to in a minute.
I know, yes, that bothered me so much. It's get him out of the ring. What is he doing?
Trying to get physical. I think, did I see footage? Did he slap Cody in the ear?
Well, I saw it when it happened, and then we'll talk later on about the press scrum, what was said about it, but it appears they slapped Cody in the face, and it appears The Rock told him, you better get blood on your hands. And he did. He took The Rock at his word, and he actually hit Cody. If I was Cody, I can't wait for my fucking receipt.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Fuck, on his eardrum, he might have got the blood from. He slapped him in the ear from if I was been Cody, I said, fuck it, I'd have got up and made Rock knock me out again after I killed that son of a bitch. But nevertheless, so point being, we're getting ahead of ourselves. The Rock came out with Travis Scott and his Mark belt. And they took forever to get
he called it a Mark belt
to the ring. And there was a lot of milking of this. And
yeah, that did take a long time.
The Rock tried to lay down the premise again where, I want to open my arms and Cody Rhodes will come into my arms and I will embrace him as his brother and my brother and we're all brothers. And just in return, I want Cody's mind and soul. And this got to did you hear? It wasn't. They didn't rock the house with it, but the crowd was starting to what The Rock. And in places it was.
I actually didn't hear that. I didn't notice that.
There was a bit of.
I need to rewatch this because I watched it with the sound off because I was streaming at the same time. I'm not doing that again, unless I have a huge following of people that are gonna watch my subscribe to my wrestling content, which it's not, which is fine. I'm totally fine with that. I understand, but I missed all this. I missed all the crowd reaction. I missed all of that because I couldn't watch it with the volume turned all the way up. And to me, in my opinion, wrestling, the audience is 65% of what goes on. If you have a dead audience, that permeates through the television. You can sense it. When the audience is into it, everything is better. Everything is better, in my opinion.
Starting to what The Rock, not in places designed to be whatted. It was like the Who's in Whoville. It was faint, but it was there, and it was starting to get bigger. I think that's why he switched up gears. But if the point, if the answer is yes, then Cody will live forever, and if it's no, then tonight the dream dies again. And the people didn't respond to that. He's obviously,
which that was a pretty like I watching him say that, I was like, wow, that's that's pretty that's pretty deep. That's pretty deep.
talking about Dusty because he has a weight belt with the date of Dusty's death and Cody's soul written on it.
That's so wild. Yeah.
Rock loves visual aids, and I mean they are quite good. But so I was getting the impression from this because nobody is screaming at Cody, no, don't do it, no. It like they would have in previous generations that when a babyface would have to make a choice at a crossroads, and I don't think they've.
Or like when you go back to when Seth turns on the Shield and you can actually hear go watch it. I'm not even kidding. You can actually hear someone as Seth Rollins starts to wind up. You can hear someone in the background just go, no. Like, does anyone else remember that? Go watch that back. It's wild.
Wanted to. I don't think the fans I'm talking about, I don't think they've liked the pitch of this. I don't think they liked when it came up to begin with. I don't think they wanted to see Cody involved in this. And then when Cody milked it, I don't think they've wanted to see Cody seriously considering this, which is the way it's been portrayed, that he would be seriously considering it. And
considering what, though? That's my whole point. Considering what?
Well, considering this, the idea of selling out to the man and becoming the Rock's puppet is what's implied with "I want your soul."
It's almost like it's the Vince McMahon, dude. It's the Vince McMahon stuff, dude.
But again, it's such a nebula. I'll give you everything you ever dreamed of if you'll just go in the sauna with me on Thursdays.
What does he have to do differently than what he's doing right now to sell his soul to The Rock and be his champion?
That has not been delineated as to how he would have to modify his behavior, which is another one of the reasons why I don't think people have been into this except to see it over with. And that's why when Cody finally says, I want it all, Rock. I want it all. I want all the fame and fortune and blah, blah, blah. But my soul no longer belongs to me. Why? Because I've already given it to this ring and these people. And they say, hey, Rock, go fuck yourself. And they didn't even bleep fuck because it's a premium live event. A premium fucking live event is the way they ought to sell them now. And he got a giant pop with that. Hey, Rock, go fuck yourself, because that's what they wanted to. What is my number one rule of a babyface promo going back to anything I've ever said in public about it? The babyface at some point needs to say what the fans want to say about a guy or to a guy or about a situation or whatever, but they don't have the platform. And a lot of people want to say, hey, Rock, go fuck yourself. Yeah.
It's true.
They love that. And then The Rock kind of stood there somewhat dumbfounded. And that's when Cena comes up and he hugs Cody. They're laughing about what he said to The Rock, and he hugs Cody, and they're all smiles and everything. And then they get and again, Brian, I wonder if they have those things in the WWE called production meetings.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And again, that they rehearse this because there's spots they got to be at to make sure Rock isn't standing in front of the camera, and they get Cena's face. Dude, Cena's face was incredible, dude. As much as I don't like Cena, and I still don't. I don't care if he turned heel. I still, I've never been a fan. Just not my flavor of ice cream. But I've never seen him make that face. Not on WWE television. It's always smiles, dude. Always smiles. So, yeah, that was... Yeah, they practiced that, for sure.
The things we were talking about recently that AEW doesn't have.
And why? Because it matters. It matters. And if you're an inch off, that whole visual. And did you see that face? That face is everywhere, dude. This is mainstream. It was on, like, the front page of all the search engine stuff, dude.
Because their show isn't finished in time for them to have one. I wonder if WWE has production meetings. Or do you think the handheld camera guy is just he's Nostradamus. He knows exactly where to be to get the over-the-shoulder facial shot of the change in expression that can then be cut to the shot of The Rock where he gives the signal and Cena frowns, and that frown is turned upside down when he stands up and he kicks Cody Rhodes right in the balls. That, again, they're cutting back and forth of a live event that is happening.
I know. That's movie level production right there. Live. Yeah. One take. They get one take at that. One. Not 30. One. Any slip up, the crowd's gonna. And dude, and it's so crazy because you can tell when someone makes a mistake in wrestling. It's so obvious.
Real time, and they're getting close-ups of people's facial expressions.
So incredible.
This is goddamn major league shit. Yep. Kevin Dunn was in summer school, maybe when they taught that stuff. He was in detention or whatever. But that's what happened. Is as soon as Cody said, "Go fuck yourself" to The Rock, Cena hugs him for it and looks at The Rock. The Rock gives a signal, and Cena stands up and kicks Cody right in the balls. And then Cena grabs Cody's watch, I believe. Who was it? Was it Michael Cole or somebody? Said he's got brass knucks. He obviously picked up a watch. You could almost see Timex on it. But he picked up the watch and put it on like knucks and punches Cody and hits him with the microphone and then hits him with a title belt and hits him again with a title belt. And by now, Cody's bleeding. And Cena rips Cody's shirt off and he chokes him with his tie. Brian, do you think they thought to fire him like they did Danielson with the choking with the NXT announcer or whatever with the tie that time?
We got a fuck. The commentator said shit, and then we got this. I think it's a whole new era.
I thought you meant the commentators actually took a shit. And then the rapper, as we mentioned, tried to do something and was very awkward and potatoed Cody. And then the Rock whipped Cody with the weight belt, and then they stood on him. And the one thing, again, there's enough attention to detail in this and with The Rock that it's something that they didn't want to do, and they made the choice rather than nobody thinking about it. Nobody tried to fucking stop this. You've got, in what other business, anywhere, Hollywood to fucking Manhattan, Wall Street, do you have a member of the board of directors of a company beating up one of the most valuable employees of the company, and nobody else of any kind of goddamn standing in the company is even trying to get in to separate them and help save it? No, please let's not hurt Cody. He has to main event a $100 million show in 6 weeks. If there was some effort.
That's a good point. Hey, I mean, that's, yeah, okay. I mean, I think he's nitpicking, but that's a very valid point.
It would be
like, why didn't Triple H come out and be like, dude, what are you doing? Like, dude, what are you doing right now? You're not wrestling anymore. What are you doing? Like, why? I mean, and they have history. I mean, and people keep talking about Stone Cold showing up. Well, I'm almost positive I heard him on a podcast say he's going to be involved in WrestleMania. I think I'm pretty sure I heard him say that.
Nice, but it went for quite a while because the final boss, I believe, likes being the final boss. But now we got John Cena in the grip of the corporate puppet masters. And before we get to my thoughts on that, this angle in your mind.
I think the moment was exceptional. From the go fuck yourself to The Rock standing there to the Cena hug and Cena's face. Yeah. This face that we've seen smiling for years.
Right,
all of a sudden,
what I just say, dude, when you see that, it's like, oh my gosh. What?
He turned into a cop who's been on the beat for way too long. His face dropped. And again, they shot it well, but he did great. The Rock doing the signal.
So, somebody on Twitter said Jim Varney has turned into a sullen bastard.
The Rock doing the cutthroat signal was perfect. It was just vicious the way he did that. And it was great. I agree with you. No one ran in to make a save. I know Triple H can't get physical, but he could be at ringside ordering people to save Cody. Something. I didn't like the idea that no one saved Cody and, that's the way the show ends with him standing over him.
Well, and didn't, Michael Cole come up there and try and help him out?
With Cena turning here, potentially you also give him a reason to turn back at the end of his year because he gets fed up with The Rock. Because I can't imagine he's going to retire as a heel. That would be the most stunning thing of all.
Right, and that's, again, that was my... Dude,
and obviously he's sick of Make-A-Wish.
That was my point to, my buddy, when he floated, he was like, Cena turning heel. It's like, no. Why would he do that? This is the end of his career. It's if they're all about making money, that will absolutely destroy merchandise sales for him because now he's a bad guy. And he has essentially 9 months to basically, now he's going to play heel at WrestleMania. There's no more pay-per-views until WrestleMania, so he's not going to probably wrestle. Maybe he will, I don't know. But he's going to be a heel at WrestleMania. He's going to get booed out of the arena at WrestleMania. So, and then what happens? He turns on The Rock? I don't know. That seems too quick.
As the other big takeaway, no, I thought
well, now he's going to start another organization called Take-A-Wish. He wants some back.
That's funny. They should do.
We're going to have to go to his place and start doing shit for him.
Cody, the only way you're going to beat me at Mania is if you make a wish. But I think the angle was great. I think the moment was great. I wouldn't compare it to the NWO, which a lot of people have done. Hogan turning.
People need to stop doing that. It's not even close, dude. Hogan turning is still the biggest heel turn of all time. It's not even close. No one was saying to Hogan in 96 or whenever he did that, you know, Hogan needs to turn heel. I think he was getting stale, but no one was like, Hogan needs to be heel. Hogan needs to be... Dude, people have been calling for Cena to turn heel for years. Years.
Heel and joining with Hall and Nash. There, the reaction was very different. And although Cena's been a babyface forever, although you got to see him as a heel, obviously, he's been a babyface forever. It's different than when Hogan turned. I wouldn't compare the two. Yeah. I wouldn't compare the visceral reaction. Also, he's turning kind of under the rock as opposed to Hogan turning to be revealed as the leader of something.
Well, and besides that, Hogan was reviving his career at that point, whereas Cena was already hot and he was about to leave anyway. And that's what I agree. And again, I said earlier, I believe I did in the course of this diatribe, The Rock I've always thought was a great performer. I think probably said he could come out and read the phone book. But lately he's been reading the same page of the phone book twice, or he came out on NXT just not knowing what was going on.
He's just not as sharp.
And he seemed somewhat full of himself as a heel on camera, that's fine, but also quite a bit full of himself off camera as, is this another Russo-esque type of thing where I invented air and water and I have an opinion on everything and I'm making everything better because I'm in it. The way that they got here, I know everybody said, well, just enjoy the ride The Rock is taking you on. He insinuated himself into this thing, kind of switched back and forth a couple of times between are we supposed to like you or not, then established that we're not supposed to like him on TV, but we're supposed to like him more in real life because he's doing such a great job of being an asshole on television, and turned John Cena heel. If they were going to turn John Cena heel, I'm not sure they needed The Rock in the middle of this. It was done brilliantly. But also, to me, business-wise, I'm thinking, and I'm not even talking about what's best to make the best show or, you know, what will win Angle of the Year, but they've got a lifelong babyface, the most popular guy that they had at one point for a 10-year-long period, John Cena, who's announced he's going to make one more appearance in 30 cities or whatever, and some of those are going to be on.
Right. So again, this is why I had the same thought. It's like, dude, there's there's no way he would turn heel. Like, there's just no. But see, not knowing and being wrong in wrestling is awesome. It is amazing. It is. It's because if you're right about everything, there's no you don't get emotionally invested in it. There's no passion. If you predict what's going to happen and it happens every time, you're going to stop watching.
On premium live event, and the kids have always loved him, and as a chant of merchandise, and
I heard someone use this analogy if you were to go see a magician, would you see the same magician 2 times in a row if they did the same tricks? You would do it once. But then on that second time, if they're doing the exact same magic tricks, would you continue going and seeing that? Probably not.
He's taking a farewell lap. I would have said, yeah, go for it, wholeheartedly and without reservation. If they had already said he's only going to be here for another fucking 30 shows this year and he's done. A turn this big with somebody of that stature, you could get a few years out of it, but they've got a limited amount of time. Are they losing millions of dollars in merchandise sales? Do they think the people are smart and it doesn't matter? But does the 8-year-old kid that they might have caught this time around because of their parents?
No, dude, I can't show this to my kid. Oh my gosh, are you kidding? No way. He knows who John Cena is. There's no way I could show my kid this.
Do they want the John Cena? Is it hustle, loyalty, and respect, or is it hot lesbian action with The Rock? I don't know what the fuck's going on. They've turned a guy that's almost done. I guess my thing is, would they come out as well or ahead if they had just had the John Cena retirement tour and sold all that merchandise, sold all those tickets, seen one more time, instead of doing an angle that would set him up as a top heel normally for the next 2 or 3 or 4 years? Your thoughts?
Yeah, dude, that makes total sense. That's exactly what it's like. This doesn't make business sense. You're gonna lose dude. And I've heard CM Punk say this. When you are a heel, people don't buy your stuff. They just don't. I mean, do you see a bunch of Kevin Owens shirts all over the place? No. Or, I mean, you see a bunch of Logan Paul stuff anywhere? No.
I mean, that's more of a question for you because you are really more the expert with this stuff. Right. That's the question. You're doing the Cena heel turn now. You know, we heard from a lot of people that are like, you see it all gave us this. And you're right, it's going to run out pretty soon. It would have been a lot different if he had turned in 2015 or something. Would have been a lot different. Would have been under Vince too.
Way different, dude.
But it's still big and it has a big impact.
For sure.
Again, he's kind of the champion for The Rock, which is interesting. Cena is big enough to turn heel and be his own guy. It's an interesting role for him to have right now. And that is what it is. It's a role where he's going to kind of be working for the corporate Rock, I guess.
And he's a movie star too. He doesn't need the auditions.
Obviously, The Rock can't work. I don't even know if The Rock can bend over and touch his toes at this point without going to the hospital and needing surgery or something. So it's interesting that they're going to try to incorporate him as this heel overboss, but he can't really do anything in the ring beyond injuries or anything. And the real reason why the injuries would matter is it would screw up his films. And that's the priority, not this. So it's going to be very interesting. I think the moment and the angle was great. For everyone who tweeted out or something, you need to apologize to The Rock. You need to get off his dick. He's not going to buy you a fucking truck unless he can film it and unless you're famous already. Seriously. The way it was set up to this, like, see, it made complete sense that he was incoherent in the ring on NXT. No, it doesn't. I was starting to wonder if he's drinking when he goes out. He's drinking during the scrum. The angle was great. The moment was great. Let's see where they go with this. But don't try to sell me on everything making sense or being good up to this point. The reaction he's come out to the last couple of times has told the story.
You can get the murderer in a fucking murder mystery without the fucking story leading up, and it being an exciting finish without the story leading up to it making any sense. If you pick it apart, well, what about all these loopholes? The guy couldn't have. He was in Phoenix the whole day the murder happened. But it does. The point is, it's a good fucking deal. That it was executed exactly as they wanted it to be done, and the people reacted to it live, and they've been talking, positive or negative or indifferent, they've been talking about it ever since. But it started off a little shady, and I think they polished it based on what was being talked about was going wrong.
Based on the way you're reacting, do you think it's crazy they're going to have Cena as a heel for his last year?
Would I say crazy or just, I don't know. I don't.
It just doesn't fit.
No, you know, if that's a thing that they should have done or not.
It's probably something, something he wanted to do. He's probably going to have a great time doing it.
Well, yeah, because he'll have fun, you know, because he don't give a shit. He's done at the end of the year. And it's not like John's a guy that takes, you know, he's not Bruno in terms of taking it that seriously that he would always be a babyface. I think he'll drink wine around children. But I get, you know, that's the thing. I'm not saying that he doesn't want to do it. I'm just saying if I was running the business and what would I get the most out of, I don't.
Yeah, again, dude, his merch sales. I mean, that's a huge.
Know that it needed to be done at this point.
I mean, yeah, there may be a couple people that, you know, I don't own any Cena gear, but I mean, if it doesn't really necessarily, I don't know. Like, I have an Acknowledge Me shirt because it's like that could be anything. All right, that could be anything. That doesn't even sound like wrestling, in my opinion. So I have that, and of course, I don't look, dude. I don't wear. I think I do want to get an NWO shirt though, for sure.
Or whether he should have been allowed to go ahead and ride off into the sunset after having sold $17 million worth of merchandise or whatever.
It'll be interesting too, because one of the things we anticipated was all the merch for the goodbye tour, like Derek Jeter coming to every stadium for the last time. Cena was going to go to all these different places. The final time it'll be the last time here T-shirt in every single town. I guess they still could do it. They still may do it.
But now the people are going to be saying, yeah, good riddance.
Or they, for the first time, will ever do heel Cena merchandise now. I mean, it's a very interesting thing. And, you know, you say that a lot of guys are kind of riding that wave where they're heels or baby faces based on a situation. This is clearly someone being a heel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he absolutely, he looked at a guy and kicked him in the balls at the behest of another man. Or another person. It wasn't in a sexual way.
No. Man, the way his face dropped, that was the best. That's the best acting he's ever done. That was amazing.
So yeah,
and again, The Rock, the viciousness with which he delivered the cutting of the throat, the whole way that was done was perfect.
Yeah.
And they shot it well. If it was AEW, we'd see Christopher Daniels punching himself in the head.
All right, made it this far. I appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one.